What's up, guys and gals? Roy from Roy's Customs here to give you a little guide on tire pressure and to actually give you a little bit of a guide and sort of show you how that's done and how to find your proper tire pressure that you need for each individual tire. They're usually mostly the slight variances between different brands of tires and different sizes of tires. I'm going to show you the pressure gauge. I'll show you actually filling the tires and checking them as you're filling them. Plus, also, you want to make sure that you're not too low, and you want to make sure you're not too high. I'll show you where to find the maximum tire pressure. So most of them don't have a minimum tire pressure on them, but as long as you're close to the maximum tire pressure, you're usually okay. As far as like winter time, I usually have mine a little lower, and in the summertime, whenever the roads are better and the weather's good, the reason I have a little less pressure is so that I get a little bit more width on the road. This doesn't necessarily matter if you have like a little bit wider tires, but if you've got standard tires, you can lower the pressure just a little bit, just by a few pounds, not by a lot. But anyways, some of the better times to actually check your tires is actually springtime. You want to check your tire pressure because the tire pressure will vary with temperature, and then in the summertime you want to check them again. Also in the fall and in the winter. So basically it's with each season you want to kind of check your tire pressure to make sure that it's within the range that it needs to be in. Also, when you check your tires, you want to make sure that you have a good working gauge. I actually own about 3 of these, so and they all seem to work properly. First, you got to take the valve cap off, the valve stem cap off, and then what you'll do is you'll place this end in here, push it kind of hard, and then you'll get your reading as to what the tire pressure is. And as far as this one, it's about 27 pounds. That's way too low, and there's gonna be on the ring somewhere, there will be max pressure. This one says 51 psi, so it'll be around the inner edge of the ring somewhere. It'll tell you your max pressure. So, and you can always try to check it again, make sure you use it right. Okay, so it's still checking out low. So, because sometimes it may take a minute. If these things set for a long time, they may need to be shot out a couple of times in order to get the proper reading. So that's why I'll usually check them 2, 3, 4 times and then see if I'm getting the same reading. And then what you do is you'll take your air hose with your tire chuck on it, and then you will air it up. It's actually better to have a gauge on your hose. They actually sell those too, that's got like a trigger and it's got a gauge on it so that you can actually check it a little bit more often, so you're a little more accurate. Alright, I'm going to run this one. This one's 47 psi. So I'm going to call that good. I know the max pressure is 51, but 47 psi is actually pretty good for this particular tire. You want to actually make sure that, and it is fall time, so it'll be winter soon enough, so you'll get that little bit of extra track on there anyways. So anyhow, whenever it comes down to that, Like I say, there's no real minimum on here, but there is a maximum, and if you look around this inner portion of the ring, you'll see it. It'll say it, how many maximum PSI. So once you've got that one checked and you've got that one filled, then you can go on to the next one. And make sure that you replace your valve caps, your duct caps. Whoa, that one's off the charts, so we gotta let some air out of that one. Yeah, the other side actually has this little nipple so you can let air out. Yeah, we're still too high. Okay, so we're about 47 on this one. So we replaced the valve cap. Then move on to the next one. This actually also helps improve your gas mileage. It really does. It makes a difference in your gas mileage, because if your tire is too low, then it's just going to drag down your car, and it's just going to make it worse on the gas mileage. So if you got a proper air pressure, then it's going to be much better on your gas mileage. We're about there. Alright. Now that we've got all the tires inflated to the proper, well, to a much better level, there's a few other things that you should actually know. Now, actually, if you end up overinflating your tires, it's pretty easy to just get rid of the air with one of these. Like I say, on this side there's a little nipple to actually release the pressure, and this side is to actually check the pressure. This will slide out, and this has how many pounds of pressure is actually in it. The thing is if you overinflate your tires, it'll actually feel weird when you're driving it. And if the tire pressure is too low, you can kind of tell that too. I mean, especially after you've drove your car for a while and you're like, something's not right. Go ahead and check the tire pressure. If you feel like something ain't right, like, hey, something's kind of weird with this, and my gas mileage is kind of going down some, so, you know, check your tire pressure. It may be all it is. Just make sure you've got, you know, somewhere close. It doesn't have to be the max. I think they give you like a 5 or 6 pound variance. You can have it about 6 pounds lower than what actually the max is. Like some tires, you know, like I say, they're all pretty much the same. They all tell you in the same place where to, you know, where you can find the actual max PSI, but I never really run at the max PSI. I never do. I'm usually a couple pounds under for like all kinds of different reasons, but I'm usually a couple pounds under on that. But you can have it a little bit lower, like during the winter time, so you can get a little bit more track on the actual ground, because especially if it's like snowing or something, I mean, you don't ever want to go fast in the snow anyways, but you know, as long as you got a little bit of extra track, you know, even going slow, you'd be a little bit safer. So anyways, I hope this helps anybody that actually watch it and need some help with their tire pressure, especially if you're new to vehicles. You know, if you're new to vehicles, you know, it's a pretty important thing. That is what your entire vehicle rides on. Now, I know it's got an engine, a transmission, it's got doors and everything else, but what this vehicle rides on, what keeps it to the road, is the tires. And with proper tire pressure, you get the proper grip, you get the proper handling, you get the proper, you get the proper fuel mileage, all that. Like I say, you don't want to run it too high because then it starts feeling a little weird. It's like it's a little loose or something. But as long as you keep it within range, pretty close to range, within 5 to 6 pounds, you're doing really well. So anyways, thank you for watching, guys, and feel free to subscribe and have a spectacular day or night, whichever one it is for you. Peace out.